Well, howdy there, guys. This is your host, ID Chester. Welcome back to PC Replay Baseball. And you can see we are actually playing the 2016 season. So, yeah, that's right. Game has been purchased, registered, downloaded, and installed, ready to go with the 2016 season. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. So, first, I would just want to give a big shout out to PC Replay Baseball. I ended up purchasing the game on Saturday. Got an email from them basically asking for my special code that you have to give them so you can register the game. I sent it to them on Saturday night, and Sunday morning here, I already had an email back from them. So great customer service. I mean, seriously, guys working on weekends, checking their emails just to make sure people that purchase the game are getting it installed and ready to go. Directions were quick and easy. So a big shout out to them. So thank you very much for doing that for me. And anyways, we got the 2016 season in PC Replay Baseball. So speaking of customer service, I do want to just also say for this, I ended up buying the game off their website. It was 49 bucks, which is pretty reasonable price for, a full game with a full season. You get to pick out one of their season files with it automatically. Plus you get the game. But you know what happened? And this is super cool. And so many times people or, when you're purchasing things or whatever, I didn't see any special discount codes or anything, but the game might have been in sale. I don't know what happened, but I ended up buying the game, and then they ended up refunding me $9. I think maybe it's on sale right now or something. I'm not even sure, but they didn't even have to go through that step and refund me $9. And, you know, that just shows that I'm working with a really good company that cares about their customers. They're not trying to screw people over. And I do very much appreciate that because a lot of other companies out there, they would have just taken your money and, hey, you didn't put the code in, you didn't get the discount. Too bad, so sad. Cry me a river. Wah, wah, wah. So, I do appreciate them doing that for me. Like I said, I don't know if it's on sale going on right now or what happened, but they sent me $9 back, so instead of $49, it was $40. Um, so that just makes me want to, buy extra season files because, I know they're not out just trying to screw me over. They're going to be there, they're going to help support their customers, and, I really appreciate that. So I just thought I would let you guys know that if you're interested in buying PC Replay Baseball, it's a pretty quick and easy step. Um, you know, it's email back and forth. They're really nice about it. They give you step-by-step directions, all kinds of things. And like I said, they sent me $9 back. The guy sent me that, and I actually told him about my no-hitter, uh, that I had recorded my very first game by Wainwright, a no-hitter. And he's like, "Oh, that's so cool to hear that someone got a no-hitter on their very first try." So obviously he was reading the email. It wasn't just a generic email. He obviously read the email I sent him back. So that was, pretty cool. The other thing is, obviously being able to download and install photos for players and just import them into the game. I know that it's done by the community because obviously for licensing reasons they can't do that themselves. Otherwise, they would have to, subscribe to the what is it, the Baseball Player League Association or whatever, and pay their hefty fine or not fine, but pay their hefty cost just to use the licensing. So obviously they can't do it. So, but able to, have their customer or, you know, other players do it and be able to download it. and install it in the game. I mean, that's literally going to save me probably 40 to 60 hours worth of work to try and download pictures, resize them, rename them, trying to find the directory to put them in, blah, 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 blah. It's such a lengthy and hard process that so many other baseball simulation programs make you go through. It's not enjoyable. I know that Higher Ground Gaming enjoys doing that stuff, and I don't personally enjoy it. I enjoy having the pictures in there and being able to check them out, but I don't enjoy downloading them and resizing them and formatting them and making sure they're the right name and everything else. And if you watch Higher Ground Gaming, I know he had some problems in Inside Pitch trying to get one of the stadium files to work. He downloaded it, renamed it, didn't work. Resized it, didn't work. Renamed it again, didn't work. And I don't know how much time and effort he spent in that. That's probably an hour, maybe two. It sounded like, from what he was saying in his video, a couple hours worth of work, and it didn't even come up. So I'm willing to spend the extra money in this game to have it done for me automatically. Just when you go to the main screen, you click on the year, you click on the download, it downloads a file. It is a big file, so if you don't have a fast internet connection, it might take you a little while. But you download the files. One is like 68 megs, and the other one is 250 megs. That's probably the photo one that has all the different players in it. Um, it only took me a couple minutes to download the files, and then when you load up the game, you download them into the program. It takes about 2 minutes, and then boom, you're done. You got all the images, you got all the pictures, and just that effort and time that it saved me, so that I can play the game and not have to mess around with that, is it's worth the price for the game and season files. I mean, it's a deal. If I can explain that to you, I mean, when I look at buying a game, I look at the cost and I say to myself, okay, the game costs X amount of dollars. If I play it X amount of time, what I try to do is I try to figure out if it's going to be, less than like $1 an hour or less than 50 cents an hour or whatever. So that means if the game costs me $40 and I play 40 hours worth of game, that's basically $1 an hour, right? So here I am. I bought the game for $40. Probably be playing it for maybe 800 hours, so it's like 25 cents. And now I'm not wasting 30 hours of my life trying to find pictures, download pictures, and install pictures and everything, which makes this like 5 cents an hour for this game. And for me, anything below like 50 cents an hour is a no-brainer to get. So, I'm not trying to convince you guys one way or the other. All I'm trying to tell you is for the quality program that you get, for the ease of installation, for the customer support, I would highly, highly recommend this program to anyone out there that's interested in getting it. Anyways, so that's my little spiel on that. Hopefully, if you guys have any comments or thoughts, please do leave them in there. I would like to hear what people have to say, because I don't see a lot of PC replay baseball on the net, and I'd like to give them some coverage. And I know Higher Ground Gaming, definitely check out his website. I know he does. He's done some. He's actually emailed me back and forth a couple times. We posted on one another's channel, and he's interested in actually buying the computer version. And uh, I'm not sure which season file he's interested in getting, but he's going to probably buy the computer version. So hopefully he'll be posting some videos on his game channel. So you can definitely check it out on YouTube, Higher Ground Gaming, if you're interested in watching some more PC replay baseball. I think it's a very, very interesting program, and like I said in my last video, I think the thing that separates it from a lot of other baseball simulations out there is it's got enough information and details and stats and everything else, but it's not over the top. When you're talking like out of the park baseball or some of these other baseball simulations that seem to be, you know, way too much, way too in depth. Um, so I find this to be a difficultiness of like 8 out of 10, which is good. It's not over the top, but it's in depth enough that you can really fine tune and try to figure out your baseball strategies and lineups and all that, which is great. Um, so I think I think we're looking at the 2016 season. So yeah, you get to purchase one season when you buy the game. I decided to go with the 2016 season, um, just because it's the most up to date, most recent season. I would like to get the 2011 season, the best season ever in Major League Baseball, personally, in my own opinion. Um, it had the 2011 for me was the best season because it was so many games on the very last day determined who was going to make the playoffs and who was not going to make the playoffs. September 28th, 2011 was the best day ever in baseball, unless you're a Boston Red Sox fan. Yeah, that was amazing. Anyways, so what I'm looking for you guys is we're going to be doing a replay of the 2016 season, and I'm trying to decide who and what I'm going to be playing. So I'm trying to find the most interesting thing that could possibly be done in a replay here. I don't want to play Chicago, so get that out of your heads right now. I'm not going to see if Chicago can repeat because I don't think they deserve it. I do have some bias, I will mention that, but I don't think they didn't deserve it. They should have lost to Cleveland, and that's just my own personal opinion. So if you're a Cubs fan, nothing personal, but I think there was a lot of interesting things that happened in the 2016 season. I think there are several good things that we could try, and I'm just looking for opinions. So number one, I think Miami is a very interesting team. I am for a National League team. If St. Louis can't do it, I'm going to root for Miami. They're like my number two team. I like the players on their team. I really think Christian Yelich is a superstar in the making if he's not already. Um, I think more people will hear about him maybe this year. And of course, because of the tragic death of Fernandez there in the during the season, it would be interesting to replay them in that we can see his games that he did pitch. So Miami might be an interesting choice. Obviously, since I'm a Cardinals fan, it would be interesting to see if the Cardinals could keep Chicago, keep it closer than what they did in real life, which could be an interesting gameplay. Although St. Louis really was decimated with injuries last year. I can't even tell you how many games they had started. Some of their players they were counting on did not perform in the beginning of the season, and Chicago jumped out to a really big lead. So I don't think, you know, I don't think that St. Louis, if we could play them and get a better start and keep healthy, maybe we can stay with Chicago. Chicago is a beast. They're a powerhouse. I will have to give them that. But the fact that what they did to buy their championship, they didn't deserve it. Because I don't like teams that like right at the end they go get two or three players to put them. They got Chapman, which they shouldn't have gotten Chapman, and they did. It's okay for me if you go and get a player and then you keep them, but then you go and get him, you get the World Series, and then you release him or trade him or whatever happened there, and now he's back with New York. Um, so I don't like teams that do that. So I'm not saying that St. Louis doesn't do that. It's just I don't like that whole aspect of baseball. I think if you get a player, there has to be some kind of compensation if you release him or something. I don't know. But anyways, um, As far as the National League West goes, I think Arizona is an up and coming team. They could make some, if they got some pitching, they could do some damage. But I don't see anything else interesting other than the Dodgers and the Giants rivalry going on there with some awesome pitching between these two teams. Although San Francisco had a down year, yay, because I hate San Francisco, but I also hate the Dodgers. So because too many times, St. Louis faces them in the playoffs, it gets knocked out, and rivalry and blah blah blah. So, so if I'm looking at a replay, probably if it's not Miami in the National League, it's probably going to be in the American League. So with that said, we can several interesting things. I think Los Angeles, Anaheim with Pujols, Trout, and all their good players would be an interesting replay. Um, Yeah, I think that Los Angeles, if wish they could get a couple starting pitchers, that would be great because they have the offense, they got the talent, they have the team. They just don't have the starting pitching to make it deep in the playoffs. And of course, the other thing that doesn't help them is they're in a division with Houston and Texas. Texas has been on in the postseason every year for the last 5 years or something like that. They've been in the World Series a couple times. Obviously, 2011 losing to the Cardinals, the best World Series ever. Anyways, so it doesn't help that they're in that division, which does not help. Houston's a powerhouse team, up and coming team as well. Cleveland, obviously, World Series loser, should have been a winner, so we could replay them to see if we can get them back to the World Series and win it. And of course, we have uh, New York and Boston, Tampa Bay, Toronto, Baltimore. I mean, that division is just stacked and loaded. Be interesting to see. You could pick any one of those teams. Maybe not New York, and maybe not Tampa Bay. Although I think Tampa Bay is going to be a little bit better this year. It'll be interesting. It all depends on health. But Toronto, Boston, Baltimore, any one of those three teams would be very interesting to see if you can get out of that division. So lots of interesting things. Let me know in the comments section below who you find to be an interesting team for the 2016 season. I know I posted a video like this a little bit ago on, doing a replay and getting people's thoughts and which season and which team and which season would be the best. Since I only own the 2016 season, obviously that's going to kind of narrow it down. I think I am going to use PC Replay. I was going to use Action PC Baseball or some other program, but now I'm interested in trying this out for all the reasons we stated earlier. So, for the 2016 season, who would you like to see and the reason why? Well, post a comment now because it's interesting. A lot of interesting choices that we could try to redo. We could try and take a team that we think should have been better than they were, like Pittsburgh. I mean, going into the season, people were thinking it was going to come down to, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Chicago, but Pittsburgh kind of fell apart. And I don't even mind Pittsburgh that much, even though they're in the St. Louis's division, probably because they're the local. Bradenton, Florida is their home of their spring training. And Pittsburgh is, they've got some decent players on their team. Of course, David Freese, ex-Cardinal, and a bunch of other pretty decent players. And I get to watch them pretty much 3 or 4 or 5 times. I've got tickets coming up for next week, a couple days. So, so I mean, I don't mind Pittsburgh. Cincinnati, I don't even mind Cincinnati, even though they play in the same division because they were the local Ohio between Cincinnati and Cleveland. Obviously, we were in Columbus, right between these two. But Cincinnati got a lot of love down there, and I don't mind them. I hate Milwaukee. I hate Chicago. The Nationals are an interesting team because I mean they were very close between them and the Mets to see, um, who is going to take second seed. We knew Chicago was going to get the number one seed, but who was going to face Chicago in the playoffs? Either Washington or the Mets. It ended up being Washington, and Washington just didn't have enough to put them over the top. But they do have a lot of good pitching. They got quite a few good, decent players. Decent, I say decent. Well, Bryce Harper kind of had a down season, obviously, but it'll be interesting. I'm just interested to hear what you guys have to say, and mostly the reason for this video is to find out from you guys about which 2016 team would be the most interesting to replay in PC Action Baseball. And also to let you guys know about my purchasing with them and my thoughts about the game, my thoughts about the support, my thoughts about the ease of play, uh, thoughts about, you know, being able to do things in the game. Anyways, let me know. I'm interested to hear. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. And then, based upon feedback, we'll probably be starting the season file and get it rolling here and see what we can do. All right. Thanks, guys. See ya.